Hello everybody, today I'm going to do the E3 wrap-up. I was going to make them individual videos at first, but I decided that it might be best to all make it in one, especially now, at the time that I'm recording this, all the conferences are well over. So let's get right into it. So Bethesda is the first one I'm going to talk about, and these aren't in any particular order. These are just the order that I remembered them in. They're probably out of order, but just roll with me here. Okay, so we have Bethesda. I was not impressed with Bethesda. I did not stay up for it, but I did watch it. And what I mean by that is I couldn't sleep, so I just decided to see what was going on, and I really wasn't impressed. Um, when are they going to stop selling Skyrim repackaged in some way, shape, or form? They keep on announcing it as having better mod support, as, being put on the Switch, of course, which, hooray, awesome. But we don't need to have a big announcement about that. Let that be for Nintendo, not for Bethesda. And you just get this idea that they are milking Skyrim and Fallout 4, which isn't even a good Fallout game at the grand scheme of things. It hasn't aged well, to the point to where it is ridiculous. They only showed two truly new titles, and if I may be wrong, so definitely feel free to correct me, but I think there was only one new IP. No, there was no new IPs revealed at Bethesda. I'm going to do something real quick. This might creep y'all out. All right. There we go. But anyways, they showed The Evil Within 2. Let's hope it's better than 1. I never played the first one, but hey, hope it's good. And Wolfenstein 2, which I am excited for. I really enjoyed the New Order. I thought it was kind of a sleeper hit in the sense of I didn't really expect it to be that good. But I played it, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. Really cool story. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that, and I have confidence in that game. I mean, Bethesda's been doing good with their shooters, like Doom, another hit that people were kind of expecting to be a flop because of the beta and stuff. So it's just interesting. But anyways, I was pretty disappointed with Bethesda's conference, especially compared to last year. It was pretty lackluster. Then we have Ubisoft. And I thought that Ubisoft did very well. And here's why. They showed a lot of new games that people weren't really anticipating. Of course, they showed Assassin's Creed Origins. But they also talked about Rabbids. And they were going to have a crossover game with their Rabbids characters and the Mario characters, which I thought was very interesting. Now, the rumors had been circulating about this, and it was just finally confirmed, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? The Crew 2 is coming out, and hopefully that will be better than the first one. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot for this E3 because this was the E3 of sequels, I felt. Skull and Bones. That, well, for me was the show stealer, and let me explain. And it's like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but ship focused. It's just another pirate game, and it looks cool, and interesting. It doesn't look amazing, but it does look really neat, and I'm looking forward to playing it. And then the big announcement that made everybody, seemingly go into cardiac arrest, which was Beyond Good and Evil 2. And a lot of people may be angry at me for this, but I have no idea what Beyond Good and Evil is. I've heard of it, and I've heard of people talking about Beyond Good and Evil, but I don't understand why people are so excited. I know it's been a long time since the first one, but I guess I just need to check it out for myself, and then I might understand. But I guess it's like people wanting Half-Life 3. It's kind of just grown in anticipation because it's been so long. I'm trying to get that one piece of hair to stay up, and it won't. Alright, so, of course, that was pretty much the Ubisoft conference. Of course, they showed Far Cry 5, another Far Cry game. It is in America, so that is pretty interesting. But, again, for whatever reason, It just didn't have the. I do. Well, I think it was definitely one of the better conferences of this year for sure. I thought Microsoft was strong, but actually comparing uh, Ubisoft to that, I'm not too sure about that. So Sony, let's talk about Sony, the other giant. Um, they have a VR announcement for several different games, these newer games, and one of them just happens to be Skyrim. So not only in the Bethesda, I forgot to mention this, do we have, VR for Fallout 4, VR for Doom, we now have them selling us a VR version of Skyrim. And I don't know, guys. It's weird. I I don't know how I feel about that. They announced the new God of War. Awesome. Spider-Man, a Spider-Man game, which looks pretty good. I hope it's really good. The last good Spider-Man game was Spider-Man 2. And I played the crap out of that game on the PS2. That was pretty much all I played when I was in elementary school. Was Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. Among other things, of course, but that was the easy go-to game because it was open world, and I think now it kind of is not aged well. Like now it may not be as fun. Well, actually, I take that back because just the web swinging mechanic alone, the way of actually moving around the world was interesting. But just being able to climb like the Empire State Building and try and get over to the Statue of Liberty, Liberty Island, and it was just cool, guys. And I really hope that this new Spider-Man's like that. They showed Call of Duty World War II multiplayer, which, from what I've seen, looks like, I'm not blown away. I wasn't expecting to be blown away. It's Call of Duty multiplayer, but in World War II. Kind of reminds me of Call of Duty 2, but a little bit more modernized, I guess is the way to say it. So, yeah, we'll see how that does. I know, you're probably like, Jackson, you made it such a big deal about Call of Duty World War II in your EA video, but your E3 predictions, but now you don't have much to say about it. And you're right about that. I don't have much to say about it because there really isn't much. I thought they were going to give a little bit more information about the story, but we got more multiplayer, which isn't a bad thing. But anyways, for me, the biggest announcement of Sony's press conference had to have been, I'm going to win here. You know that, right? You're not going to beat me. Anyways, the biggest announcement in the Sony conference was probably, let me think, the remaking, not remastering. They made sure to let us know that it's not a remastering. It was a remake from the ground up, brick by brick, texture by texture, of Shadow of the Colossus, which is probably one of the best games ever made. And I do not give that title out lightly, as you guys probably know. I have a high standard for excellence here, and it wins my seal of approval, which is all it needs, of course, when it comes to accolades. But they're going to remake Shadow of the Colossus for PS4, thank God, because I do not want to go through PS whatever the rental service is to rent it from an emulator. That sucks. I have to rent it for an expensive price in a subscription. So yeah, I am really excited about that. I'm also, gosh, that's another PS2 game that I really liked. I'm just thinking about it right now. I really want to play it. We're trying to fix this. I know you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, what an amateur. And you're right about that. I don't usually have the camera on in front of me. But I'm kind of a, if you can't tell, I'm a pretty handsome guy. So I try and keep everything in check even when I'm in front of the camera. I'm trying my best here. Anyways, so we have Nintendo, and I really do think that Nintendo did the best. And a lot of people are going to disagree that it's Ubisoft, and really, I would. They're right there. There. That's supposed to be. It doesn't look equal. There we go. From that angle. And they showed a lot of new games. Of course, they showed Mario, and they talked about Splatoon. So all the games that we already know about, but they showed a new Kirby, which looks really fun. They talked about a new Pokemon RPG, which is awesome. It's Pokemon. They talked about a new Yoshi game. Of course, they addressed Super Mario Odyssey, which looks good. Metroid, a new Metroid Prime. That's pretty cool. And valuable additions, such as Rocket League. And I really do think Rocket League is a valuable addition to the Switch. I think that's a perfect game for the Switch. Honestly. I think Rocket League's a perfect game for anything, except for phones maybe, but especially the Switch. The more the merrier. I actually have it with me right now because I'm a cool kid. It's so sad, guys. When I'm waiting for stuff to update, I'm not patient anymore. I just have my Switch out and play at my desk while I'm waiting. Now we're like, wow, we really care. Anyways, so that's all the big E3 announcements. I'm sure I missed some. Let me go through my head and make sure I didn't miss any important ones that I at least wanted to talk about. Nope. Okay. So now, in conclusion, I'm going to give my impressions of this year's E3, and I will say that this was probably the most, I don't want to say disappointing because I didn't have great expectations for E3 in the first place. I felt like it was going to be what some coaches may call like a bridge or a building year, when your team isn't doing so well, but it's a growing year, guys, we're really, getting our roots deep. It doesn't look like it now. We're losing, but we're working. Anyways, no, I wasn't very impressed. This was really I can't even speak. The year of sequels and the year of new IPs that are either kind of interesting or far off. And you're kind of just like, we have, of course, let me think, what are the best of show? Best of show for E3. For me, at least. Because it's all about me here. That's the thing. There was nothing that really just blew my socks off. And I'm not a pessimist guy. I'm a realist. Okay, I'm not a very pessimistic person. I went into this with an open mind and heart and soul. And I wasn't betrayed, but I wasn't satisfied either. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to wait until 2018, I guess, to get satisfied. But that's all right. Best of show. Gosh. I don't want to say Battlefront 2, but I do. For me. But that's the thing, that's a sequel. And it's not only that it's a sequel, but Battlefront 2 is a sequel for... It's really what Battlefront 1 should have been for EA. It's almost like, how like in Knights of the Republic 2, how everybody was mad at it? Knights of the Old Republic 2, sorry. And then those modders made a patch for it that fixed the game. It feels like EA made one of those for the original Battlefront. Not that that's a bad thing. It needed to happen, but it's a little bit like... I don't know. I just felt like everybody kind of played it safe this year. Maybe Beyond Good and Evil 2, if I knew actually what Beyond Good and Evil, all the hype was about. Maybe I would say Beyond Good and Evil 2. Maybe, honestly, for me, I think it's the remastering of, or remaking of Shadow of the Colossus. A game that came out quite a long time ago, and has already been put. It's been put on PS2, PS3, PS4 through emulation and subscription services. But now it'll actually be on the PS4. So I actually have a reason to play the PS4 now. It's because Shadow of the Colossus will be on there. Skull and Bones. Cool. It seems like a Pirate's year. Ubisoft is making a pirate game, and Rare for Microsoft is making a pirate game, which looks cool too. So maybe they'll have to pirate from each other and fight it out on the open seas over who will win the ocean that is the gaming demographic of the world. I think hands down the best announcement by far was probably the Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I mean, that game shows depth and brilliance that we don't really see in today's market. You have a turn-based strategy, but nay, it is not just turn-based strategy. It is turn-based strategy with a colorful twist. They decided to step out of their comfort zone and say, you know what, the Rabbids. You know what I remember the Rabbids for, guys? The Rabbids were the games that kids were allowed to play at like church, before church service when I was in Sunday school. Because, you know, it's a kid's game. They were just a bunch of mini games, if I remember correctly. But now they've really stepped it up. They're with the heavyweights now. The heavy hitters. You got Mario, Yoshi, Luigi, and Peach, and Toad, and all of them of the Mushroom Kingdom. And this is high stakes. It isn't joking around anymore. They are in big trouble. And it really shows the vision and the risk, just blind faith, that Nintendo and Ubisoft had to combine arms and fight stale, dying franchises. I'm totally kidding, of course. I mean, I might pick it up, but I'm not really looking forward to it. That's my E3 impressions. Yeah, it's weird, guys. I don't know what to think of this E3. Oh my gosh! Do not get off the video. I just remembered what I'm looking forward to most. How could I forget the PC gaming show? Egg all over my face. Mountain Blade 2. Bannerlord. By far was my favorite game shown at all of E3. And that is because I love Mountain Blade. Nay, I live Mountain Blade Warband. That is a game that is after my own heart. I have had many good times in it, and very few bad ones. I've never had a time where I've gotten frustrated. It's been usually because I got bored. And I have conquered many lands and pillaged many villages, gathered great resources, and slain many a foe in the realm of Mountain Blade. And I look forward to doing that in Bannerlord because the graphics are updated. The combat looks nice and crisp. People always give Mountain Blade a hard time because of its graphics. And I've yet to see a game do melee combat as beautifully as Mountain Blade. It really is. I mean, especially Cavalry. And I'm not joking when I say that. I'm not being sarcastic. I have not played any game where Cavalry combat especially has been that good. It just works. Chivalry, yeah, it's great for melee combat, but I don't know. It's just something about Mountain Blade just feels good. And it looks better. So, I'm really excited for that. I'm not excited for the new XCOM. They showed some weird turn-based strategy mech game because that's what everybody wanted. But anyways, I think that's all. That was my game of E3 2017. That was the one redeeming factor. Was Bannerlord. And I look forward to playing Bannerlord on this channel when that game comes out. because I don't joke around when it comes to Mountain Blade. And this video has gone on for way too long, so I'm going to end it here. Anyways, guys, that's my E3 impressions. If I have any other thoughts, I will make sure to make another video just for y'all and release it. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to talk about what you thought was cool in the comments below. That'd be great. Just don't disagree with me because you know I'm right. Anyways, guys, I will see you next time. Adios.